According to the chairman of Region 6, there was a decline in the number of students who wrote the NGSA exams this year. More from Renetta Court.
According to the chairman of Region 6, Mr. David Armagon, the region has recorded a decrease in the number of students who sat the National Grade 6 Assessment NGSA this year as compared to 2019. In an interview conducted on July 1st, he shared these details.
The turnout yesterday was 1,753, and that's the same kind of turnout again this morning, which means that around just over 70 students would not have turned up to write the examination for whatever reasons. But we had seen this pattern when they were coming out for the revision. You know, some parents still have the fear that sending their children among other children and, you know, having to associate with other people in the classroom would have been dangerous for their children, and as a result of that, some parents kept their children away from the lessons.
Because of the coronavirus or COVID-19 pandemic, which has been plaguing the country, schools were closed on March 16, and as a result, learners were deprived of over 3 months of learning. The Ministry of Education on June 5th had later announced that schools will be reopened for students who are to sit the NGSA, CAPE, and CSEC examinations to return to school on June 15 to facilitate revision before they sit their exams.
So the same pattern has happened in the examination, but not to that extent, because more students turn up to write the examination. So about 3%, about 3.5% did not turn up, and we suspect, when we look at the students, we realize these were not coming to the lessons, and I believe it has a lot to do with the fear of the COVID-19 pandemic. You know, some parents are not prepared to take chances with their children, and as a result of that, they kept them home. And maybe because they kept them home during the lesson period, the child probably felt too that they are not properly prepared for the examination. And so it's unfortunate that you know, over 70 to 73 persons not writing the exam. I mean, it's quite a lot for the region. Because in the past we would have had about 99.5% turnout to write this examination. But as I said, I believe it has something to do with the COVID pandemic and the fear of parents sending their children during this period to associate with other children.
The chairman also noted that the absence of pupils were not centered to one particular area, but was spread across the region. Mr. Armagon also made reference to the turnout of pupils at one of the region's top primary school, the All Saints Primary.
It's unusual for the 9 to 10 students not turning up to write the examination, because that's a school that has always taken pride in all the students writing the examination and having a high level of passes. So the fact that 8 to 9 persons have not turned up there means that it has to do something with outside of sickness or an emergency. I believe it has to do with the COVID business.
Although the COVID-19 pandemic has affected the turnout of pupils who sat the National Grade 6 Assessment this year, Mr. Armagon hopes it would not affect the results. Reporting for Channel 8 News, Renetta Court.